just like you have your regiment when you wake up in the morning, whether it's, taking a shower, having breakfast, getting a coffee, something like that, you want to make sure that your dog has the same regiment or routine. And the more consistent you are with that routine, the more predictable their behavior becomes. So obviously there's going to be outside factors like somebody ringing the doorbell or an unannounced visitor to your home, but we want to make sure it's as predictable as possible because dogs don't necessarily know the context of certain things. So when somebody shows up at your door, they don't know where they came from. They don't know that they got in their car or walked over to your home and they appeared and they were invited over. They may think that person is an intruder. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into creating that routine with a dog and making sure that we're either classically or counter conditioning the experiences. So what that means is pairing a stimulus with the other stimulus. So let's say a doorbell rings and your dog reacts to that doorbell. We would want to replace that behavior. So you can actually teach your dog to do certain things in place of the undesired behavior. So let's say your dog barks, you don't want them to bark. Well, what would you rather have them do instead? And that's what we want to start thinking about. Always ask yourself, well, what behavior do I want in place of that undesired behavior? So you would say, okay, well, I want them to go to their bed. Great. Do you want them to lie down or sit on their bed? So you have to become very specific with dogs because the more specific you are, the more responsive they become. So then you can train them when they hear that doorbell, lure them over with a treat, have them sit on their bed if they know the sit cue, and then wait. So you'll work on stay when your guest comes in. And they actually, when you work on this consistently, they'll hear the bell, they go to their bed, they wait for their treat or wait for the person to come in, and then they get that reward. So it becomes really cool the first time you see that if you've been consistently working on it, where the doorbell rings and your dog automatically goes over to their bed. And it's a really, really cool thing to see with our clients. When they witness it for the first time, we'll get calls or an email and like, my dog did this. And it becomes really exciting when we get those calls or those emails knowing that their dogs have started to create and modify their own behavior because they know there's going to be this reward at the end.